All right, week 7, here we go. You have made it. 6 weeks, that's a lot of prep time, but you have done it very amazingly. And so I commend you and all your hard work, from the Blackboard discussions to the reflection papers on the mock sessions. You have done phenomenal. And what is overwhelming to me is getting to see what God has put in each and every one of you, the giftings, the talents, the anointings, the sensitivity, the competencies, because you, ladies and gentlemen, are you are way far more advanced than when I was in school. And well, Brady, you're just saying that. No, I'm really not. It is encouraging knowing what the next generation of ministers, of counselors, of psychologists, of psychiatrists, mental health, helping professions, if you will. And I'm excited. I'm excited that as y'all continue to get into the field, get out there in the field, for me to get to hear your name and what it is that you're doing to contribute to this field. And not only that, but for me to get to learn from you. So it's going to be exciting. Within the book of Tan, the counseling and psychotherapy, really the last little bit is talking about the idea of Christian spirituality and counseling and psychotherapy. And not only that, but just the dynamics of some of the legality and the ethics and some of those dynamics. And so in that, I just want to talk a little bit about that because I think Tan does a great job. I remember being one of my very first semesters here at King's, and I had a student that pushed back and said, hey, you can't talk about church, you can't talk about Jesus, you can't talk about those things in counseling. And I remember thinking, well, why not? Well, Brady, it's not supported by the code of ethics. And here's kind of my rule of thought. Now, again, I submit it to you, make sure that you have a good understanding as you kind of move forward in what is it that you believe. Not only what you believe, but what does the code of ethics say if you're going to be licensed through any type of board, whether that's psychology, whether that's counseling, whether that's social work, whatever that may be, right? The idea is do not false advertise. If I have nothing on my website, if I have nothing within content relations, that I don't do anything from a Christian spiritual nature or anything like that, and then they come in, and then all of a sudden I said, okay, let's get busy. Let's ask God some questions. And they're like, oh my goodness, who is this guy and what is he about? To me, I feel like that is very unethical. I think that I've done a injustice in that individual, and I've lied to them because I wasn't forthright in my perspective. So in that, everything that I do, now I'm putting that upon me, everything that I do is making sure that foundation is established between whether it's marketing, whether it's my website, whatever that looks like, so that when individuals come in and they have a consultation, whether that's over the phone, through video, in person, the idea they know what they're getting. Now we talk about that dynamic of what that expression looks like, but really the foundation, because I feel like they need to know as they're determining the best fit. Because in counselors, again, you can be the best counselor, but are we everybody's cup of tea? And the answer is no. And I'll let people know that up front. Hey, here's the thing. I've been doing this for X amount of time. But with that, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, so I want to answer any questions you may have. I want you to pray about this. Is Brady a good fit for me to be able to move forward? And you know what? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But if I'm not, then what is it that you're wanting? What is it that you're needing so that I can help get you connected? And this is why, networking is monumental. The students that you're doing class with here at King's, and as you continue to move forward for those who do. Excuse me. So that's really the only thing I'm really going to add to these 2 chapters. Make sure you read them, because I know that a lot of times if you're like me as a student, you're like, oh, it's not going to be graded upon. Oh, I don't have to. Oh, I'm just going to kind of discount it. But he offers some great insight, some great understandings that I think would be pertinent to your foundation as you continue to move forward in this field of academia. So really, from the standpoint, what do you do? Who are you? It's the reason why a lot of times when you look at a counseling website, or any type of helping professor, or whatever type of website, there's an about us, and usually there's kind of a short bio. Who is this individual? What do they counsel from? So that as a result of that, you can look and say, Brady, no, not a good fit. I'm really not a big fan of emotional freedom technique. Or what is that? I'm going to Google it. Oh, yeah, okay, that's kind of interesting. Okay, how does that correlate to me being a believer? Or you know what, I'm not a believer, or whatever that may look like. Do I interact with only believers? Do I interact with non-believers? Do I interact with whomever God brings to the door? You get to determine that. But This class is about allowing you to establish yourself as God has already created the foundation for establishment to determine, what do I believe? Is it a lot like mine? It's kind of like, well, take all these theories, throw them in a big pot, stir them together, and allow Jesus to breathe in on the things that are of reflection of him. Then as a result of that's probably what you get if you were sitting across from me, or at least that's what I hope you're going to get. Okay? This final, you get to determine. We're going to do one more mock counseling session that is your final. Again, application. It's great that we know things, and I'm grateful to have a system like universities that allow you to absorb information. And it's great that when we can absorb all the information that we need for classes. But if there's not the opportunity of retention and application, then from my perspective, from education, what's the point? Oh yeah, I took that class, I made an A in it. Great. Well, so what are your thoughts about that class? Well, I don't know. Oh, I remember having a professor who said something to our class. We were all in our early 20s in graduate school, and he was in his 80s, and phenomenal man of God. And wow, what a, again, just very, very amazing. He said, kind of slammed his hand on the podium, I would rather students make C's and understand how to help people than A's and don't have a clue what they're doing. And we're thinking, boy, that's a paradigm shift. You would rather me make a C? What? Because that's all I heard. No. I want you to make the best grade that you want and you can, which I believe you all can make A's. I know the situation of life makes it a little bit more difficult depending upon where we are, but y'all all have the ability. Y'all all have the competency. I've seen that through this semester. And every semester it may get more difficult about the idea, can I sustain this to graduate? And the answer is yes. Through the story of the little engine that could, I think I can. As the mind goes, the body follows. So what are you telling yourself? And does what you're telling yourself orient to what Jesus is telling you? I think it can. So kind of get off track, which happens. Final. One more mock counseling session. Okay? Can be with the same individual, can be a new person. And you get to choose. It's not all the other 3 mock counseling sessions. It was usually between this or this, this or this. Now you get to create what you want it to look like. Okay? Same stipulations, title page, abstract, reference. At least, if anything, reference our textbook. Okay, please. You will be counted off if you don't. Make sure it's APA formatted. In the paper, reference, abstract, title, page. And the great thing is you can Google this, and there's great constructs that allows you to be able to see, oh, this is exactly what it should look like. And I want you to write a reflection paper, okay? Again, don't give me the individual's name. We want to go ahead and start practicing confidence and or confidentiality, which we talked about in week 1, the idea of the ethics. Hey, I counsel with Brady, and boy, he's got a lot of issues. And Brady, should you be communicating that? Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure Brady wouldn't care. Even if Brady gave me the approval to go out there and communicate, can I? What are the stipulations of confidentiality? Okay, so I want you to, again, always go with Bill or Billy. It's my go-to. I've got some great friends named Billy. But practice covering the individuals that we see. It's easy to do. Oh, hey, Brady, you see Brady, don't you? Oh, yeah, actually I do. Oh, right there, I just gave into it. Oh, Brady told me that you see Brady. Oh, interesting. I don't know. I couldn't confirm or deny even if I wanted to. Yeah, but Brady told me you. Well, again, I don't know. You'd have to go back and ask Brady that. I'm not sure. But for the sake of this conversation, and even if I was or wasn't, you know what, I couldn't speak on it either. Anyways, so practice confidence. Okay. Give your individual an alias within your paper, and I want you to tell me about your theory and or theories, technique and or techniques, and why you chose those. Why? Because if you have a better foundation of what you picked and why you picked it, then as a result of that, as you continue to move forward in your chosen field, you're going to have an easier time. Not that it's going to be more difficult, because I didn't have it all together. I mean, I think I went Gestalt in graduate school thinking, man, this is it. Now, do I still do some things that are Gestalt oriented? Yes, absolutely. Is that the only thing? No. Like I said, if you took all these and threw these in one, outside of behavioral, no. Rational emotive, cognitive behavioral, yes. But true behavioral, outside the idea of creating a foundation of teaching on behavioralism, then guess what? You're going to get the expression. So again, the final. Talk to me a little bit about your session. Talk to me about your theory and or theories. Tell me why you chose that theory and or theories and techniques. And then all of a sudden, talk to me about how you felt. Talk to me about how you felt from mock 1 to 2 to 3 and now your final. And what you've learned in this class to the extent for you. I don't want this to be like, ooh, Brady, the best class ever because you taught it. No. That's not helpful to you. I want this to be for you. Whether it was your favorite class, the best class, whether it was your least favorite class, worst class, whatever it is, I want you to talk about the things that you've learned and the things that you still feel like you need to learn. Doing this for 17 years, I'm still learning, still constantly researching, still constantly sitting there saying before God, I don't know what to do. Help. God, help. So, week 7. Make sure you read your assigned reading, because there's some good stuff in there. Mock 4 counseling is your final. Make sure it's turned in by Sunday, 11:59 at the end of the evening. If there's any complications, please let me know ahead of time. Okay. It has been a pleasure and an honor to walk alongside you, ladies and gentlemen, throughout this semester. I am thoroughly impressed and excited about what God has in store for you. Reading how well you have oriented to the content, picked it up, assimilated, and you've expressed it within your mock counseling sessions, within your Blackboard discussions. You can do this. 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 Thank you for letting me journey alongside you. It's been a pleasure. However I can help, please let me know. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you. May the Lord lift his countenance on you and give you peace in completing this final, completing this class, completing this semester, completing your career of academia and all that God would have in store for you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a great week and a great day. Bye-bye.